Hi, my name is Joseph, and welcome to Men's Fellowship Adventures. If I was you, I'd tell my boys about this station and have them subscribe to it. There's a lot of things going on in this channel, and believe me, if you need it, it's there for you. Today, we want to talk about, we're still in Genesis, first three chapters. We want to talk about the power that God gave man, which was in Genesis 1:26. That's when God made man in his image, which is you are a spirit man. When you look at Genesis, after Adam named every creature, there was not a suitable creature for Adam. So um, God decided to make help a helper. That's what we're talking about. Take the word help and her. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. You're supposed to help a woman, particularly your wife, your girlfriend, help her because she's fragile. And what I mean by that is if you look in the sin, okay, God told Adam not to eat from the fruit. So him and Eve was walking through the garden in the cool of the day, and the devil, which is the serpent, he tempted her. Well, women are naturally curious. They really fall into that. I wonder what will happen if what will happen if I said this to him? Sometimes women will say things to you just to get a reaction. So they're kind of curious. And as men, we have to understand that women are curious and they sometimes do stupid stuff. I'm not saying that we don't, because we are some dumb creatures, but without a woman, we can't function. I just want you to know that. But anyway, so they were walking through the garden. The devil tempted Eve by saying she's not going to die if she ate the fruit. And there was a little back and forth with that. Really, the death that the devil was saying was the spiritual death, and what Eve thought was the physical death. And what happened after they ate, it was a spiritual death, that, the eyes are open and now they could see good and evil. But if you look at it closely, when Eve ate the apple, she immediately gave some to Adam. Sin didn't come into the world until Adam ate because God commanded man not to eat the fruit. So when you think about relationships with women, sometimes you just gotta take a deep breath, and just pause for a moment before you go off. All right, so I took my mother's in her 80s, and I decided I wanted to see her before something happened. So I went home and I hung out with her. At first it was strange because you know I was hanging out with my mother, and I started getting attitude about how slow she was reacting and other things. And I had to catch myself because, first of all, it showed me how people abuse elderly people because they're short with them and they don't take the time to have patience. Well, a woman needs that. You have to be patient with her. You have to be patient with her because, when you first get into that relationship, she tries her best to treat you like royalty. I mean, this is what a woman is supposed to do. And I'll say this: when you take your place in authority, I'm reading, when you take your place in authority, it's easy for a woman to submit to you. But, when you start doing all that extracurricular stuff, then she stops trying to be like um, that that woman, the woman in the virtuous woman, the one in Proverbs chapter 31, where she does everything to please her husband. That's what you want in a woman. But if you are playing around, then you can't expect to get that. So anyway, that's that part. Another thing that I found out about me was the reason why I'm short, or I was short with a lot of people, was because I have to confront my own demons, and yeah, I got anger issues. And if you got anger issues, and how you gonna know if you got anger issues? You have to find out where your triggers are. Like, it's no secret. My life is an open book. I was homeless at one point. I was staying in a veteran shelter and I was on medications, and they control the medications. You couldn't keep them in your own little locker or space. So it was about 8 o'clock and I wanted my meds because I had a lot of things to do. So I said, "Hey nurse," and I used a louder voice because I got a big mouth. I asked for my medication and she looked at me and she said, "You're out of there." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She actually threw me out. And the only way I could get back in there was if I took an anger management course. So fast forward, I left there, went back to Arizona, did some things, and then was coming back to Boston. Because when you go back in Boston, because of 9/11 and all that other stuff, things change. Anyway, I didn't have no place to stay. Now, I'm not going to go sleep on my mother's couch or nothing like that. So I didn't have no place to stay. And so I went back to the shelter. And the first thing they said was, in order for you to get back in here, you got to go through anger management. I was, you know me, I got no anger problems. But when I went through anger management course, I found so much about me. I found out where my triggers was. I was able to actually control, what would upset me. And it helped me so much. So instead of me being short with women now, I take a breath and I understand they need help. That's why God brought them into our lives, because it says help her. Look at that script. Where is it at? It says that in Genesis 2:20. Help her. And if you do that from the minute that you meet her and never try to look at another woman or try to have sex outside your relationship and just keep doing the things that a man's supposed to do, then a woman don't have a problem submitting to you because you're in your place of authority. Yeah, it takes a lot to do that. Anyway, I appreciate you taking your time to spend with me. We're going to have to finish up the sin. Well, we basically did. I wish you would read chapter 1, 2, and 3. The next time we get together, we're gonna go with Esau and his brother, and we're gonna find out. Well, actually, we'll do something before then, but we'll find out together. Are you enjoying this? Share it. You got any comments? I'll answer. Until then, my name is Joseph. Thank you for tuning in to Men's Fellowship Adventures.